the shadows we reside, cracking codes to flip the tide. Zeros and ones our battle cry. System fall, we watch them die. Hack the gap, no turning back. Red meets blue in the cyber attack. Firewall burns, the signals cracked. Hack the gap, yeah.
I posted a snarky comment on TikTok, something like, Amazon just DDoSed themselves. Thought it was kind of funny. Then someone fired back. This has to be an attack. How could the system be that easy to crash? That one stuck with me. If one misconfigured script can bring down half the internet, what does that say about the empire running it? Who's keeping the wires in check? Who's managing the stack? And who's profiting off the fact that your data, your uptime, your voice, all depend on someone else's cloud? This isn't just a glitch, it's a design. Welcome to Hak-Attack. Today we're busting the myth of internet freedom, exposing the choke points, and asking the real question. If the cloud collapses, who decides what stays online? Let's rewind to the early days of the internet, a magical digital bazaar. It was all about connection without permission. Back then, it was peer-to-peer, open protocols, IRC networks. No overlords, just chaos and creativity. There was this anarchist optimism, a belief that you could carve out your own corner of the net and no CEO, regulator, or algorithm could stop you. Wild, right? We were promised digital freedom, a chance to build communities without corporate gatekeepers slamming the door. But look, let's be real. That utopia, it didn't last. Centralization snuck in as soon as everyone realized that running your own server isn't exactly a hobby for the faint of heart. Platforms popped up, data started pooling, and suddenly your favorite old IRC channel was a ghost town, while everyone drifted over to Discord or Slack or wherever the crowd was gathering. That distributed, messy IRC network I loved, watched it fade out in real time because everyone was already there, on platforms piling users like wood for a bonfire. Centralization just felt, frankly, inevitable. Why? Well, convenience sells. So does the illusion of safety. You pile all your eggs in one super shiny, single sign-on basket and cross your fingers nothing ever cracks. Freedom was the dream, but you can't eat ideals when the crowd's gone somewhere else. That, right there, is the setup for everything that's about to go wrong. And here's the real kicker. Every time we centralize for efficiency, we build a bigger target. On paper, centralizing the cloud seems perfect. Less overhead, easy management, seamless logins, tighter integration. Just buy one service and you're covered. But yeah, you know what's coming. All that efficiency creates single points of failure. Fast forward to August 2024. Out of nowhere, CrowdStrike, giant in the cybersecurity world, face-planted and took down huge chunks of the Fortune 500, along with government agencies, schools, hospitals, you name it. Like, the digital air went out of the room, people scrambling just to reboot, restore, reconnect. Because so many organizations depended on exactly one security platform to hold up the whole tent. It's this eggs in one basket problem. Sure, having one provider feels safer, looks cleaner in a PowerPoint, but if that one fails, everything fails. And that's not hypothetical. Efficiency backfires when risk is concentrated. Every time. See attackers? They love centralization, even more than accountants do. Why had 50 separate networks when you can breach one cloud provider and have the keys to the kingdom? It's like the casino scenario. One vault, all the chips. Think about SolarWinds. One compromised update and boom, state actors were crawling through US government and corporate systems. Or Facebook's meltdown in 2021. A single misconfigured setting, and the entire platform, plus Instagram and WhatsApp, blinked out. Centralization turns supply chains and back-end glue into the biggest, shiniest, blinking hack-me lights you've ever seen. So is decentralization the answer? Or just an invitation to more chaos? I honestly don't have the perfect answer. Sometimes it feels like trading big, dramatic disasters for 1,000 paper cuts. Complexity comes free with every layer you peel back. Still, man, a jackpot's a jackpot. And hackers aren't picky about the flavor. Here's the sales pitch. Cloud means easy scaling, automation, instant deployment. Reality check? You're also facing giant exposure to threats, accidental misconfigurations, and, most dangerous of all, the great cosmic game of BGP hijacking. If you're still with me, BGP is this little understood protocol that tells data, hey, go that way. If someone malicious or clueless changes that map, whole swaths of the net go down or get rerouted. Classic case was 2008's YouTube redirect. A provider in Pakistan tried blocking YouTube locally but messed with BGP tables, so half the world suddenly couldn't reach YouTube at all. Oops. And confession time, I've had a night or two sweating bullets over AWS permissions. Once, botched a deployment, locked out critical services, and nearly crashed a client's business. All it took was a single misconfigured policy in a supposedly secure cloud. You want perspective? Real cloud risks are less Hollywood, more anxiety, sweat, and caffeine at 2 a.m. You ever ask yourself, who's really holding these reins? Who decides what moves and what stops? Behind the scenes, you've got routers, DNS, massive data centers, mysterious cloud APIs, and, most importantly, the folks who operate them, half invisible. Your experience online depends on so many invisible hands, it's honestly dizzying. ISPs, Internet Exchange Points, technical committees like ICANN, they're the gatekeepers. But no one's really in charge. It's more like a janky committee arguing over the Wi-Fi password. Should these be nationalized, strictly regulated like public utilities, or just left to tech giants and hope for the best? It's a mess, and everyone's got a dog in the fight, but nobody's got the keys to the whole thing. Not really. Here's where the rabbit hole gets gnarly. In the US, you've got Congress making the big laws, the FCC laying down network rules, the FTC playing privacy and antitrust cop, then ICANN wrangling the domain system, plus a circus of industry and advocacy groups with skin in the game. This is what they call multi-stakeholder. Sounds like a utopia. Ends up gridlock. Tech evolves at warp speed. Policy cruise like dial-up. A law written for Web 1.0 is now patching up issues the drafters never imagined. Meanwhile, the revolving door spins. Ex-regulators take cushy gigs at big tech, tech insiders get tapped for government, and everyone chases their own interests. It's like trying to update your firewall with a scroll and quill. So you see the frustration. Decision-making stalls, policy lacks, and the real power, it's somewhere in between the committee rooms, the boardrooms, and the data centers. Net neutrality. The never-ending pendulum. Should ISPs treat all data the same, or can they throttle, block, or fast lane certain sites? It's been legal whiplash for 2 decades. Rules pass, get challenged, get rolled back, repassed, struck down again. Even after the 2024 FCC order, courts knocked it out and the landscape just keeps shifting. The cracks show up when states like California pass their own net neutrality laws while the feds dither. Suddenly, you have a patchwork, fragmentation. In one state, your website zips along, in another, it's choked. Not just countries, but regions and states writing their own rules about privacy, content, and bandwidth. Here's a question to stew on. If your favorite indie site got throttled off the net, but you could pay for a fast lane, would you? That's the fragmentation dilemma, and it's not going away. Section 230. Oh, this is the skeleton key, folks. It built the platform economy by saying, we won't sue you for what your users say, and you can moderate posts in good faith without becoming a publisher. Now, it's a battleground over every miserable argument online. Censorship, misinformation, Monopoly? Pick your poison. Do platforms stay neutral hosts, or are they digital publishers responsible for every algorithmic blip? The US argues about tweaks and carve-outs, but in Europe you've got the Digital Services Act, forcing transparency, algorithm audits, duty of care. More oversight, more paperwork, probably, but maybe more accountability, too. There's no perfect balance. Tighten things up and you punish small sites, lose weird corners of the net. Loosen everything and you get swamped by noise, spam, and, honestly, danger. So what does resilience actually look like? More people are waking up to the hybrid model. Use multiple cloud vendors, split up core services, require interoperability, and design for failure. Because it will happen. Redundancy suddenly isn't wasteful, it's survival. I still remember, client got hit with ransomware, and they're at monocloud, everything tied up in one provider. It was a near miss, and the scramble to migrate them was like open heart surgery on a running treadmill. But when we finished, their new setup, redundant data centers, multiple vendors, failovers, meant a single outage would hurt, but not kill. Resilience is a muscle. You don't build it by hoping nothing bad ever happens. When the cloud goes dark, like really dark, who gets to decide what comes back online first? Who restores service? Who stays in the digital shadows? It's a power play. And sometimes the folks making those calls are the same people who profit most from the chaos. Is it government, tech giants, or someone else deciding whose voice gets to echo once the lights start flickering back on? The big question: how do we, as users, demand transparency and resilience when our digital lives rest in the hands of remote, often unaccountable infrastructure giants? Do we just sit back and accept it? Or do we push for change, more openness, more decentralization, more say? That's the game right now, and I'm just getting warmed up. There's a lot more where this came from, so hang tight for another round of myth-busting, next time on Hak-Attack. Stay defiant, stay curious.
The whispers, a data stream, codes the canvas, paint the scheme. We're the ghosts inside the machine. Nothing's safe, not even your dream.